Hello and welcome to the IMBA Cup Supreme Commander Forged Alliance. This is the losers bracket, and we got two extremely good players here, Zock and Uberge3k. We see Uberge3k here. He got sent. I believe he lost to Lucian. No, he lost to Voodoo. And Zock got sent here by Lucian. So the two undefeated players have sent Zock and Uberge3k, and now one of these will be out of the tourney. They are playing a very difficult map. Actually, they just had a game where it ended in a draw immediately in like 2 minutes, but I don't have a replay. And now we are seeing a build order very similar to Curry: 3 P-gens, first air, and a bomber. And Zock here playing his Aeon land plus a couple P-gens, going for the Hydro. So far the T1 bombers have just been brutal. And we can see here Uberge3k saying he's a draw noob or someone else's, and Zock is relaxing. And just to remind people on this map, a lot of mass in the middle, a bunch of PDs that you can capture. They don't actually shoot back, but you can capture them to be on your side. And this is a great target for this bomber. If you can pick those off. And there they go. And actually a good move from Zock, saves one of his NGs. You can see both ACUs pretty even in terms of who gets closer to the middle. I can see this bomber just took out an Artie and now survives with very low health. You also see a flare from Zock. Could be very effective given there is only one air factory here from Uberge3k. This flare comes in, can kill a lot of NGs. We do see second air planned for Zock. And you can see Zock's going to get a few PDs for himself. It looks like he's not going to be aggressive. Yeah, each player is just going to get a PD on each side. Doesn't look like he can shoot across. And now a land factory for Zock. This flare seems to not be too aggressive. Did not go in, and I'm just going to look for any expanding NGs. This would be a great NG to kill here from Uberge3k. He's going over here to get about 4,000 mass. Zock has got a factory going. Now he's going to run into a PD, and he is going to have to turn around. That's a big chunk of mass for Uberge3k. That's something to think about for players playing this. If they get these PDs, you can kill off one of the power generators very quickly. I see some scouting from Zock. He's going to see 4 land, 1 air. Zock only has 2 land, and you can see there's a pretty big numbers advantage in terms of tanks for Uberge3k. Zock's going to find himself in a little bit of trouble. He needs to start producing land, and you can see he's going to build a whole bunch of Tech 1 land factories. But his main base is going to be in a bit of trouble. You should think about a PD. He is making a PD now. There are a couple Auroras at the base, but numbers for Uberge3k. Of course, if this PD gets finished, and it does, now the Aurora is sitting by the PD using their range advantage. So well played from Zock here defending. See now Uberge3k bringing in some Artie into the middle so he can take out those PDs and roll through. Zock kind of left the middle, it's going to get a lot of mass spots. You can see this flare here, still no kills, but should be able to take out any NGs that expand to the top. And a lot of NGs here for Zock expanding to both expansion bases. See 4 land factories now in the middle for Zock. This is going to be an Aurora versus tank standoff, but there's quite a bit of Artie for Uberge3k. And very aggressive tanks from Uberge3k taking on the Auroras. So far it looks like Zock has a few more mass extractors in this one. And still a lot of mass to reclaim in the middle. Now coming up on minute 7, if we look at Uberge3k, he's reclaimed nearly 7,000. Zock at only 3,000. A huge difference in this game, and that was probably a lot came from that power generator. And of course, over here we see Uberge3k got quite a bit of mass. Surprising, Zock also got that mass. And now we are seeing Uberge3k pushing through with his ACU. He definitely has the gun upgrade. So Seraphim ACU with the gun upgrade, just rolling through paper auroras. Need a lot more production for Zock. He needs to just build factories everywhere. He's about to lose most of his production to Uberge3k's ACU now at 16 kills. No upgrades for Zock. He just got to retreat. He will die against this ACU. We see Zock here using transports to capture all the mass extractors on his side, but he did neglect the middle, and Uberge3k using that gun upgrade plus numbers advantage. Trying to get some radar. Needs a lot more PD here. 25 kills for Uberge3k. Seeing some transports, and we are seeing T2 air from Zock, so perhaps we might see some mercies. He does not really have air control now. Uberge3k definitely has a more, very similar numbers of Tech 1 interceptors. Zock might be able to win this air fight now, but he's got to worry about his ACU now. Getting attacked directly by Uberge3k. Going down to 8,000 health. And losing auroras very rapidly. But now we did just see, here come the mercies. And that will force Uberge3k back. We are seeing some T2 land and Tech 1 PDs, and we did just see Uberge3k lose a lot of health here. We also seen some T2 PD and Zock making a pretty good situation here. Uberge3k making Tech 1 anti-air. It wasn't built fast enough to protect, so one more mercy and Uberge3k is dead. And now this should be far enough for this mercy to be shot out. Yep, you can see Tech 1 anti-air effective against mercies. Uberge3k proves his point, but he is definitely winning the game in terms of map control. And actually now we are seeing something really cool. The floating arty. That's going to be pretty devastating for Zock's expansion. Now Zock at 30 kills continues to retreat. He's got some T2 PDs, but way too many units for Uberge3k, and these Aeon PDs really good against T3 and T2, but against T1 they just don't have the fire rate. 39 kills for Zock. Some of these T1 PDs are beginning to work, and some gunships coming out for Zock, but Zock is in a little bit of trouble. They should be able to take care of this attack. This floating arty here though, very devastating. Already taken out quite a few mass extractors. Now he's going to take out some T2 mass extractors. The gunships from Zock perhaps can do something about this situation. We are seeing a bomber here from Zock, but not doing much. And yet another wave of units. Tech 1 from Uberge3k. 49 kills for Zock's ACU. This is very good pressure from Uberge3k. You can see his production. Way more land factories than Zock, and Zock realizes not much you can do and actually gets killed by Uberge3k. So Zock is out. One of the best players in this game was just beaten by Uberge3k, and we're down to 4 players.